Good morning, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Today, we're going to do plagues 5 through 7. We're in Exodus chapter 9. Now, I haven't spent a lot of time talking about how God is, I don't want to say fighting, because it's not much of a fight. And I don't want to say destroying, because the Egyptians still believed in them after the children of Israel left Egypt. But makes his point, let me put it that way, against the gods of Egypt. Now, the first 4 of these plagues were against the gods of Egypt. But now he's going to start to attack the gods themselves. And the first one is an attack on Osiris. Now, I'm not going to get into each one and who's it attacking. And some of them scholars believe he's attacking multiple gods or all the gods. And this is not a line-by-line exposition of the Bible. I'm reading it as a story, trying not to interject as much of me into it as I can, and letting you decide what you believe with the Bible. Of course, when you drink from the hose, you're going to taste hose. So sometimes you're going to hear my opinion. And it's just an opinion. I believe it's true. Anyway, in Plague 5, he's going to attack the Savior God. That's who Osiris is. He's the God of fertility. He's the God of the afterlife. He's the God of salvation. To get to the afterlife. And so as soon as he switches from attacking the people to attacking the gods, he's going after the big guy. If you bring the big guy down, all the other dominoes are going to fall. But Pharaoh, you're going to see, is very, very stubborn. There's 12 of these plagues. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and tell him, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has said. Release my people, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to release them and continue holding them, then the hand of the Lord will surely bring a very terrible plague on your livestock in the field, on the horses, the donkeys, the camels, the herds, and the flocks. But the Lord will distinguish between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, and nothing will die of all that the Israelites have." So once again, he's protecting the Israelites. When he attacks Osiris, Osiris also is I think he dwells in the soul of cows, of cattle. I don't know exactly what how they put it, but he lives in the soul of cows. So if cows walking around, they ate them. I mean, but so I don't know exactly how it worked, because in India, to Hindus, cows are sacred and they don't eat them. but a lot of Indians don't eat any meat. They won't eat a chicken or a pig or anything. These Egyptians back then, they venerated cows, and I guess it had something to do with the worship. When you would go and give a sacrifice on the altar with a cow, there was some special meaning to the fact that Osiris lived within the soul of that cow. The Lord set an appointed time, saying, "Tomorrow the Lord will do this in the land." And the Lord did this on the next day. All the livestock of the Egyptians died, but of the Israelites' livestock, not one died. Pharaoh sent representatives to investigate, and indeed not even one of the livestock of Israel had died. But Pharaoh's heart remained hard, and he did not release the people. Let us know how this works out for you, Pharaoh. Let's go on to plague 6. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take handfuls of soot from a furnace and have Moses throw it into the air while Pharaoh is watching. It will become fine dust over the whole land of Egypt and will cause boils to break out and fester on both people and animals in all the land of Egypt." So you might say, hey, if you killed all the livestock, what about the animals? Well, there's two different things. They could have taken some of the livestock from Goshen, which were unaffected, and they could just be talking about the other animals. But we'll see. There's a lot of discussion about the veracity of these plagues. I believe in them 100%, but it's part of studying the Bible is to go, oh, that doesn't make sense, and what I do is I pray about it. Show me, Lord, show me if this is untrue. If these are untrue, why should you believe the Bible at all? So that's something that you have to deal with. I don't have a problem with this, but I did when I first got saved and started reading the Bible. The first time I read this, I was like, well, this is crazy. He killed all the livestock. What's up with the animals? So apparently there are different words in Hebrew for livestock and animals, but maybe not. We could go over to the Hebrew translation and look at the words, but I'd have to figure all that out. And I studied a little bit of Hebrew, but I don't speak it and I don't read it. So boils are these lumps on your skin. They're like big hard pimples. And fester means that they start to itch and then they fill with liquid, and then that liquid can ooze out. It's nasty. Grandmother be God, get those people out of here. They're festering. So they took soot from a furnace and stood before Pharaoh. Moses threw it into the air, and it caused festering boils to break out on both people and animal. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not listen to them, just as the Lord had predicted to Moses. So they use this interchangeably, that Pharaoh hardened his heart and the Lord hardened his heart. Which is true? Both is true. Pharaoh was predisposed to have a hard heart against the Israelites, and God facilitated that. It's another one of those things that scholars have questioned over the years. plague 7. The Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning. Stand before Pharaoh and tell him, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has said. Release my people so that they may serve me. For this time I will send all my plagues on your very self and on your servants and your people, so that you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For by now I could have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with plague, and you would have been destroyed from the earth. But for this purpose I have caused you to stand to show my strength." So for this purpose I've caused you to stand, to show you my strength, and show that my name may be declared in all the earth. And now it is being declared in all the earth. You are still exalting yourself against my people by not releasing them. I am going to cause very severe hail to rain down about this time tomorrow, such hail as has never occurred in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. And Egypt, even at that time, was a very ancient civilization. If you follow the Bible narrative, when they left Babel, that area, Shinar, and God dissipated them around the world, well, Egypt is not that far from there. So they would have been places like Persia and Egypt and those kind of places. They would be the first places that they went to. So now send instructions to gather your livestock and all your possessions in the fields to a safe place. Every person or animal caught in the field and not brought into the house, the hail will come down on them and they will die. So now we see another shift. And once again, the children of Israel had livestock, and they were the keepers of the livestock for the Egyptians. If we recall back in Genesis, when we were finishing up at the end of the book, that the Pharaoh who was alive then brought them to Egypt, brought Jacob, and they all settled there in Goshen as the herders. They're Bedouin people. They're wanderers who have livestock. So they kept the livestock for the Egyptians. And the Egyptians don't want to do that. So they had plenty of livestock. And so they probably were like, well, hey, you did this. We're going to take your livestock. Take some of your livestock anyway, because both peoples need to eat. So that just makes sense. But this is the first one where the people themselves can go, oh yeah, like, I can make sure this doesn't happen to me. Every other one was only on Pharaoh. Let the people go, or I'm doing this. And then everybody has it affect them 100%. This is one where if you go, bad things have been happening here. Pharaoh doesn't have a very good track record here. I think I'm going to bring all these animals in, and we're all going to shelter down. Now send instructions to gather your livestock and all your possessions in the field to a safe place. Every person or animal caught in the field and not brought into the house, the hail will come down on them and they will die. Those of Pharaoh's servants who feared the Lord's message hurried to bring their servants and livestock into the houses. But those who did not take the Lord's message seriously left their servants and the cattle in the field. And we're going to see that there's a sizable amount of Egyptians, I think they call them the mixed masses, who leave Egypt with the Israelites. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Extend your hand toward the sky, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, on people and on animals and on everything that grows in the field in the land of Egypt." When Moses extended his staff towards the sky, the Lord sent thunder and hail, and fire fell on the earth. So the Lord caused hail to rain down on the land of Egypt. Hail fell and fire mingled. So I think what it means by fire, when lightning hits dry wood, it quite often starts a fire. I mean, it's got all the energy needed to start a fire. So that's something, and if it hits something that's already flammable, then it'll start a fire. So like kindling wood and stuff like that will start on fire. A whole tree won't necessarily. They just get all like, might fall down and be smoking and stuff, but it doesn't catch on fire because it just got the moisture in it. Hail fell and fire mingled with the hail. The hail was so severe that there had not been any like it in all the land of Egypt since it had become a nation, and as I said, that's a while. The hail struck everything in the open fields, both people and animals throughout all the land of Egypt. The hail struck everything that grows in the field, and it broke all the trees of the field to pieces. Only in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived, was there no hail. So Pharaoh sent and summoned Moses and Aaron and said to them, "I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are guilty. Pray to the Lord, for the mighty thunderings and hail are too much. I will release you, and you will stay no longer." Hey, we have 5 more of these to go, so I think, I didn't think about it before, but just like Duncan and Rue are both afraid of thunder when there's a thunderstorm outside, Pharaoh's afraid of thunder. Some little kids are too. Maybe you guys are. Frank, I hope you're not. Maybe afraid of lightning, but not thunder. Moses said to him, "When I leave the city, I will spread my hands to the Lord. The thunder will cease, and there will be no more hail, so that you may know that the earth belongs to the Lord. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not fear the Lord God." So Moses is gone like, yeah, you talked a good game, but I don't believe you. Now the flax and the barley were struck by the hail, for the barley had ripened, and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they are later crops. So it's decimating their crops, but they're still going to be able to eat. So Moses left Pharaoh, went out of the city, and spread out his hands to the Lord, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain stopped pouring on the earth. When Pharaoh saw that the rain and hail and thunder ceased, he sinned again, both he and his servants, hardened their hearts. So now there's like factions that that have hard hearts. They were talking a little while back about, well, those who believe will protect their animals, their livestock, but those that won't are, you know, they're going to get messed with. So now there's two camps. There's the pro-Pharaoh camp, and there's the pro-God camp. Wonder which one's going to win. So Pharaoh's heart remained hard, and he did not release the Israelites, as the Lord had predicted through Moses. And we're going to see, I mean, this is all horrible stuff that he's doing to them, but by the last one, he takes the oldest sons. And we'll talk about that in a little bit of detail. Why he took Pharaoh's oldest son and the oldest son in every house and just made them die. That's the 12th plague, the firstborn. But like I've said before, nobody's worshiping Osiris anymore. At least I don't think so. There might be a few kooks who were part of an Osiris cult. I'm sure there were tons of rituals. Nobody celebrates them anymore. Passover is celebrated every year all over the world by Jewish people. And some Christians. I've been to a Passover Seder, because some Jewish people believe in Jesus, and so they're used to having the Seder, which is it's a retelling of this story, and it tells you what to eat when and stuff. There's certain ceremonial foods that you eat, and you go through this book called the Seder, and they go through each one of these plagues. Little Jewish kids all know these 12 plagues. None of you three, and that's the amount of grandchildren that I have until now. None of you three are Jewish. At least we don't. Like, I've never found anybody Jewish in my family. I don't think the McConnells have any Jewish blood in them. So we don't see this. Around the time that we celebrate Easter, they celebrate the Passover. They're not the exact same days. They change every year, both of them. And Olive, the Islamic side of your family, they don't celebrate either of these. But the people in the Arab world are in a close proximity to Jewish people. You know, when we were in Morocco, which is a Muslim country, not an Arabic country necessarily, although I guess it would be considered. It's I guess, yeah, it's an Arabic country. There's a lot of Arabic being spoken, and a lot of the people look like they're of Arabic descent, and they have a large Jewish community. Some of the nations have caused the Jewish people to leave, forced them out to come to places like Great Britain and the United States. But just about everywhere around the world, there's Jewish people, and they're celebrating this. God bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt Anyway, till next time, peace out.